Good morning, it's Penuel the Black Pen. This morning's video is sponsored by Donald Madibana, who is from a company called Bahananwa Business Solutions, which is a company based in Vanderbijlpark. They service spaces such as Gauteng and Shopville, which are townships close by, and they also service towns in the Free State such as Sasolburg and Parys. Their plumbers are registered with the Plumbing Industry Regulation Board, and their company is registered with the Institute of Plumbing South Africa. They do general plumbing repairs, and they also do specialized plumbing repairs such as geyser repairs and checking leak detections. And the biggest reason why they wanted me to mention them in this video is because they're trying to get onto the insurance panels of ABSA, SA Home Loans, and DigiCall. But they also do subcontract work for property development companies as well. Thank you very much to Donald and Bahananwa Business Solutions for sponsoring today's video. Last night I was watching Power to Truth by JJ, and they were speaking about inequality, income inequality in South Africa, and they were also speaking about high unemployment, and they were trying to find solutions. A lady that I'm starting to like, even though she's got a sharp tongue and she bashes white people quite a lot, is Kim Heller. She was on there as well. There were about 4 white gentlemen that were there. Mzwanele Manyi, who is the spokesperson of the Jacob Zuma Foundation, was there as well. And JJ was asking some very piercing questions. And they were having some, I don't know, some very controversial engagements. Controversial because I was getting annoyed by what some of the people were saying. And I'm making this video and I'm going to try and keep it short. Dis-chem has been dragged over the coals this week with the CEO, Ivan Saltzman, basically releasing a communication for the company saying they need to stop hiring white people temporarily because they're not meeting BEE targets. I do not know Ivan Saltzman, but I will say that reading the letter, one of 2 things happened. Either Ivan did not consult his communications team, or if it was written by his communications team, they did a very bad job and they need to be fired. Or number 2, Ivan and his communications team are very mischievous people, and they wrote that letter very crassly so to actually get the attention of the South African media and South Africa at large. Companies in this country or listed companies and other big companies in this country are basically legally bound to try and help transform the economy and transform themselves, especially if they're listed and they have to follow certain governance. And if they want to follow the constitution of this country, which speaks about transforming the economy and ensuring that people that were previously disadvantaged are given a fair chance in our economy. Those companies normally send out communications. They normally speak to their shareholders and some other stakeholders about transformation, about diversity, about BBBEE. And they do it in a very slick, articulate way where they speak about, we have reached our targets, we're trying to improve our targets, we're going to do a better job of trying to hire for diversity. If you read that letter, it is so badly written. And it's basically saying from, I think it was 19th of September, from the 19th of September, please stop hiring white people. Please make sure that you hire blacks. If you can't find blacks, it's going to hit, like, it was crass. And it's either they suck at the language of English, or, which is my personal opinion, I think they did this on purpose to highlight what's arguably a racist policies in this country. And to be honest, BBBEE, what used to be BEE before, is a racist policy. It is in effect saying, look, you have to hire based on race. The person may not be the best candidate, they may not be the most qualified, they may not have the best experience. But if they are black, or if they are female, or if they are black and female, please hire them because you'll get better points and the government will give you business and other companies out there will give you business because of that. But there's a reason why we have racist policies in this country. It's because the previous regime, the apartheid government, was racist and had racist policies based on race. And all that the Constitution, all that BEE and BBBEE and the ANC government was trying to do was to try and fix the imbalances brought in by apartheid, which makes sense. The problem with the legislation comes with the fact that the ANC government has ensured that BEE has only benefited some of their political leaders and some of their politically connected friends. It has not trickled down to the masses, and that's very frustrating. Number two, it seems to have discounted what's very important in building this economy, which is some level of meritocracy and some level of competing with the world. Of course, a lot of mischievous white people are angry with these policies, and they seem to suffer from amnesia from the fact that apartheid ensured that black people were kept out. But outside of their malice is the fact that the ANC government has failed, because you can have racist policies, but you need to make them swift. What does that mean? It means that if we're going to take land and give it to black people, because at some point white people got land unfairly, it must be done very quickly, like ripping a plaster off a wound. If you're going to do the same with the economy, then do it very swiftly. But if you do it over time, there are young kids now. I mean, the ANC has been in power for 28 years. There are young kids that were born 28 years ago. They don't necessarily understand apartheid. They didn't grow up in apartheid because they were born after apartheid was gone. And today they are still feeling the effects, the years of apartheid and then the backlash. And they're like, I'm 28. I've studied. I've worked hard. I have black mates. You know, why am I not getting picked in this company? Why am I not getting hired? Oh, it's because you're white. Sorry, the ANC government said so. Yeah, but what's that got to do with me? No, they're trying to fix the imbalances of apartheid. But why didn't they fix it with the old people? And the funny part is the old people that benefited during apartheid are still rich today. And the old people that benefited during apartheid are the ones that are working with and in bed with the ANC elite today. They've maintained their wealth, and they've made sure that they've just gotten a small elite group, a handful of black people to be wealthy with them. And then they've let the middle class, whites and blacks, and the poor whites and blacks fight amongst each other and hate each other because of the rubbish that they've created. The two solutions that have been, or let me put it this way. One of the major solutions that is normally punted is economic growth. It's punted by a lot of capitalists, a lot of rich people, a lot of highly educated people, people that study economics like me, people that study business and finance. If we want to create jobs in this country, we need economic growth. We need economic growth. You hear it from the ANC politicians. We need economic growth. You hear it for the white. I fucking hate it. Why do I hate it? I hate it because the reason they punt economic growth is because they do not want to share the wealth. They say we will not let go of our wealth. We will not share and redistribute. The only way we will create jobs is if we get more money coming from outside. So it is not up to us to share, to split our wealth and to share our spoils. It is up to the government to remove regulations so we can make more money overseas, so that number one, we can become more rich. And then from some of our wealth, we'll trickle down some of that to the poor and create jobs. I think for people that don't understand economic growth, that don't understand how money works, they think that this is intelligent, but it's not. It's basically shifting the blame from, we're willing to play ball as long as government allows us to make more money from outside, or as long as government is not showing us economic growth, nothing will change, but we will not share. And this speaks to the income inequality in this country. We have got one of the highest, if not the highest, income inequality rates, which is measured by the Gini coefficient. There's an easy fix to income inequality, but people don't want it. If there are some people that are highly paid in this country, and most of the people are very lowly paid, it means that you need to take some of the money from the rich and give it to the middle class and the poor. It's not rocket science. It's how you redistribute. If you've got 5 siblings and one of the siblings earns an insane amount and the others earn little, the easiest way to close the gap, we're not saying it's right, we're not saying it's sustainable for the economy, we're not saying it's fair. We're saying it is the way to redistribute income if that is what you want. Part of the major failure of the ANC government and other people out there, including the capitalists, the rich people, is they are not pumping enough resources and skills and information to the poor. Because if they say, no, but you can't just hire someone just because they're black or they're female, this person has to be good, otherwise they're going to collapse the company. Is the private sector doing enough to upskill poor people? Because I can tell you now, welfare is not it. Giving people 350 and other grants is not going to help that person learn how to run a company. It's not going to teach that person how to add value in a company. It's not going to teach that person how to play in the global economy and add value. So social welfare is not it. The current schooling system, and I think with tertiary education or higher learning, etc., is also not giving real skills. Solidarity, Soltech, and AfriForum have built Soltech, which focuses on practical skills. The government is not focusing on practical skills. That's why kids leave university with diplomas and degrees and dumb things like marketing, logistics, public governance, political sciences, Bachelor of the Arts, rubbish that can't be used in real companies. And then these kids sit with 40% unemployment and we wonder why. It's because the skills they have are useless. And who do we blame? I blame the government because they know. Their kids are not studying those things. You best believe, boy. The capitalists as well, they know that fucking NSFAS is funding rubbish diplomas and degrees. So if we don't fix at the bottom, of course, and we do a top-down approach where we're just putting black faces, some of your favorite rich black people today, they just were planted there. They themselves don't know how to build a functioning business, but they're there being celebrated. Nothing is going to change. Capitalists also start speaking about a free market economy, which also pisses me off. And mind you, I'm an economics major. This free market economy, or a laissez-faire economy, is this idea that government needs to be removed and people need to be allowed to trade freely. And we only deal with supply and demand and we negotiate prices fairly. That's bullshit. That's almost like fighting for democracy. The people that want a free market economy only say that because they have privileged information, resources, and they know that they will bully the middle class and the poor. Because they know that the middle class and the poor don't have the information, they don't have the skills, they don't have the resources. So I think it's frankly pathetic and frustrating, and I know it upsets a lot of the wealthier people that I know who are like, you know, Pen, we need to actually have a free... Fuck that. I know why people want a free market economy. It's because they want to bully the middle class and the poor. Yes, in the jungle, the lion doesn't negotiate and there isn't an intervention to make sure that the buck don't get eaten. But in the human race, we've decided that we want something that's more fair. Also for capitalists, if you want a free market economy at the expense of the unions, at the expense of chasing profit maximization, I promise you people will become desperate and they will kill you and they will destroy your companies. So there needs to be some type of a balance and we need to have a better conversation about what will work. I want to send a shout out to Sihle Shabalala from the University of Mpumalanga, where I was speaking last night with the Youth Development Agency there and the Oputisbu, I think Usimbane, Sutambe. Putisbusi, so I apologize for butchering his surname. I think Usumbane. Thank you very much for the experience and for the University of Mpumalanga for allowing us to come and engage and speak about unemployment of the youth and how to run a better country for everyone. Love you guys very much and I hope you'll have a blessed weekend further. Cheers.